Hi everyone, my name is Sophie Summers and welcome to Sophie's Brew. This is where I get to have a good old cup of coffee and I can use the opportunity at the same time to catch up with you on some of the questions that have recently been asked. For example, we received a request, or a question if you like, from Amanda Brown. And Amanda is asking, hi Sophie, what is your favourite cross-dressing stroke drag related film? And if you had to name three, what would they be? That's a very good question. I do try and, how would I say, move away from the obvious ones, but the one that I like the most currently is a foreign language film of all things. It's a French film made in 2014 and it's entitled The New Girlfriend. I think it's quite an interesting film. It looks at the aspects of cross-dressing in a very positive and believable way, and the actors and the actresses involved, I think, do the whole subject matter a great deal of credit. So here's a little bit of a rerun or a run of it in here, a little frame up here. It fundamentally starts off with two young people that go through being very close to each other. They both get married. The two principal characters are Laura and Claire, I believe. Now, unfortunately, Laura gets a fatal illness and passes away just after she's given birth, and her husband David is left with the child to bring it up all alone. Claire sort of pops in one day and finds a blonde young lady feeding the baby, only to find out that it's David all dressed up, and obviously goes into a little bit of shock, doesn't know what to do, but then comes back and they start to form a bond and a relationship of understanding. Claire takes David out shopping and the relationship progresses. They even go for meals and long trips together. So I don't want to give too much away about the film, but the relationship and the building up of the relationship between the two of them is quite interesting. It does cover quite a lot of the aspects that most of us, I suppose, go through at one stage: the trepidation of going out in public first time, the joy of shopping en femme for the first time. So that's a good watch. I think you can get it down from Amazon and a couple of others. So that's my, I suppose, favourite film at the moment. My other two that I will always have a bit of a soft spot for. The first one is Kinky Boots. I quite like that film, and also it's been produced into a great sort of show, which is fantastic. The reason why I have a bit of an affiliation and a like for that particular sort of film stroke play is that I actually know the person that it's based on. So the principal character is in real life a guy called Steve Pateman, and going back quite a lot of years, there used to be a programme called Trouble at the Top with Sir John Harvey Jones, where he used to go into what was perceived as being a failing companies. He went into a shoe manufacturing company in Northampton, which actually was Steve Pateman's factory, and they actually deviated into making, as the film and the play portrays, ladies' shoes and boots. I think that they're trading now. I did meet Steve once a very long time ago when he was trading under Divine Shoes. Unfortunately, everything folded, and I think, as I said, Steve is actually a fireman now, and recently I think he's actually published a book on the whole experience as well. So Kinky Boots is good. It's a great production. If you get the opportunity to go and watch it live, it's fun. So that's my second one, and of course I don't suppose I can possibly not choose Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. That's another film and a play that's very close to my little heart, because my company provided the original production in London with all the boots themselves, so I've got a little bit of an affiliation with that one. I do like the film, but to be honest, I think the play, if you go and watch that in a big theatre, I think the play is absolutely fantastic. I dare you to go and watch that and sit in your seat without getting up and dancing around and watching the music, lift people. So those are my three popular sort of films. On the film front, there are a few others that are noteworthy. The Crying Game was one that I thought was a really good film. It's old now, so it's a pretty good one. and that really covers it. So Amanda, I hope that helps you. What other things have I got asked recently? Relating to makeup. Here's quite an interesting point. A lot of people come to me and ask me what sort of makeup I use, where I get it from, do I always buy the sort of branded names like MAC, etc. What I actually do is, there is a word called a dupe. If you find any cosmetics that you really like, one of my favourite lipsticks is MAC's Russian Red. If I type Russian Red or MAC Russian Red into the internet and put dupe, that's a way of saying a duplicate. So there are lots and lots of very competitively priced drugstore makeups that's probably, when you look at the contents, more or less exactly the same as your favourite more expensive brands. So that's worth doing. If you've never done that before, just type the word dupe into your search bar on the internet and then the name of the product you really want to have a look at. You will generally find several sort of very, I suppose, competitively priced alternatives for you. So moving on, Barbara Bell has asked, I have particular issues with wearing clip-on earrings. They're either too tight and make my ears swell and hurt, or they're too loose and they fall off. Any ideas and tips? Well, I must admit I wear normal sort of pierced ears, but when I used to wear clip-ons, what I used to do is open them up so they were just about sort of making contact, just about hold on and slide off. And then I used to coat both sides with a little bit of a layer of Copydex, which is latex glue. And then I used to hold them into position for a while until the glue sort of got nice and tacky and set. And I found that that was very helpful. I could just shake my head and they wouldn't fall off. Even the sort of quite long Del Monte earrings, they were quite secure. And that way I could wear them quite comfortably. And when I did need to get them off, all I had to do was just give them a little bit of a pull and just give my ears a bit of a clean. It never used to hurt my ears in any way. So if I was you, Barbara, I would sort of give that a go. Hopefully that little tip and trick will work for you. Moving on to the next question I did get, or I've had several questions actually about deportment, how to sort of walk better in higher heels, and because of the general sort of depth and breadth of questions that are being asked on that particular aspect, I think what I'm going to do is over the next couple of weeks I'm going to think about and put together a video on sort of how to walk hopefully in higher heels, how to sit, and hopefully a little bit more mannerisms with hands and one's legs as well. But for now, sort of the only tips I can really give is that a male's sort of walking stride is considerably longer than a woman's one. Maybe try wearing a tightish sort of skirt and just walking much shorter steps. Try walk more of a straight line with your legs sort of quite crossing, but don't overdo it. So there's a lot to learn there and to be comfortable. Me personally, I find that I walk much better and much more freely in higher heels than I do lower heels, because when I'm wearing low heels I have a tendency to clonk and roll, which is very unfeminine. But it took me a while to sort of work my way up from flats to 2-inch heels to sort of 4-inch heels and higher. So it's not the sort of thing that you could, I suppose, pick up instantaneously, but practice away and you will find that you will get much better. So that reminds me, if you do have any questions, I do actually, once I've uploaded all the videos, I monitor them for the first couple of 3 hours and try and get back to you as quickly as I can with any responses should you ask questions. Another way of getting hold of me is just down below is the email address. We also have Twitter, etc. You can raise a question if you want. And what we are thinking of doing is actually going live, so we can live stream and interact directly in real time. If you think that's a good idea, give us a good old thumbs up. We'd appreciate your support on that one. And also, what sort of time and day of the week is good for you if we were to go live. That would be a good piece of information for us. So that's really going to conclude today's Sophie's Brew. It's a bit of an opportunity for me to sort of answer some of your questions, give you some feedback, and hopefully encourage you to send in some more questions so that we can put together some informative videos for you, some helpful ones. So if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, please consider doing so. Please do smash the like, because that helps as well. And all that really remains for me to say is thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and as always, stay gorgeous.